The automatic doors of Prestige Ferrari in Scottsdale hadn't even finished sliding open before I heard her voice pierce through the showroom like a car alarm at 3 a.m. "I need a red one with tan leather. 6 months, no credit check, starting today." The woman who would soon become my most memorable customer of all time had arrived, announcing her presence by slapping her iced caramel macchiato directly onto the hood of a $280,000 Ferrari Portofino M. "I'm Jake Hartley, and I've been selling luxury cars for 7 years. I've dealt with celebrities having meltdowns, trust fund kids throwing tantrums, and cryptocurrency millionaires who lost it all between test drive and financing. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what happened when Donna Fitzgerald walked into our showroom that Tuesday afternoon in March. Donna was 43 years old, though she insisted she was 35 to anyone who would listen. She arrived in a beat-up Toyota Highlander with a cracked windshield and a "Live, Laugh, Love" decal peeling off the back window. Her oversized designer sunglasses, which I later learned were knockoffs from a swap meet, stayed perched on her head throughout our entire interaction. She wore yoga pants that had never seen a yoga studio and carried a purse large enough to smuggle a small child. "Ma'am, please be careful with the paint," I said, rushing over with a microfiber cloth to wipe the condensation ring her drink had already left on the Ferrari's pristine Rosso Corsa finish. She waved me off like I was a mosquito bothering her at a barbecue. "Don't worry about it, sweetie. I'll be taking this one anyway. Now, where do I sign for my 6-month lease?" I took a deep breath and put on my most professional smile. "I'd be happy to help you explore our inventory, but Ferrari doesn't typically offer 6-month lease terms. Our standard lease agreements start at 24 months, and there's an application process that includes credit verification and proof of insurance for high-value vehicles." Donna's face transformed from entitled confidence to incredulous rage in about 2 seconds flat. "Excuse me, did you just say credit check? Do you know who I am?" I admitted that I didn't, which seemed to offend her even more. "I'm the president of the Pine Ridge Estates HOA. I oversee 300 homes. I practically run half of this city." She pulled out her phone and started waving it in my face, showing me her Facebook profile where she had listed herself as CEO of Pine Ridge HOA Management. The cover photo was her standing next to someone else's Maserati at a country club event. "See, I'm extremely important. I don't have time for your little processes. I need this car for the next 6 months for various important events, and then you can have it back." I explained that even if we offered such short-term arrangements, which we didn't, she would still need to qualify financially. The base price of the Portofino she was currently contaminating with her beverage was over $280,000. Insurance alone would run several thousand per month. "Insurance?" she scoffed, taking another sip of her macchiato. "Why would I need insurance for 6 months? That's just the dealership trying to scam extra money. I know how this works. My neighbor's daughter leased a Honda Civic last year. Same thing, right?" The comparison of a Ferrari to a Honda Civic caused our finance manager, Robert, to actually choke on his coffee in the next room. Donna interpreted this as sexism. "Oh, I see what's happening here. You don't think a woman can handle a Ferrari? This is discrimination. I'll have you know I've been driving for 27 years without a single accident." She conveniently left out the 3 fender benders and numerous parking violations that I would later discover when we ran a preliminary background check out of sheer curiosity. As I tried to explain the differences between exotic car leasing and standard vehicle leasing, Donna had already moved on. She marched over to a $400,000 Ferrari 812 Superfast in our main showroom, ducked under the rope barrier, and yanked on the door handle. When it didn't open because it was locked, she turned to me with fury in her eyes. "Open this immediately. I need to test drive it to make sure it's suitable for my needs." "Ma'am, that particular vehicle is already sold and waiting for delivery to its owner," I explained. "And even if it weren't, we require proof of funds and a valid insurance policy before any test drives." This was apparently the wrong thing to say. Donna's volume increased by at least 50%. "Proof of funds? Proof of funds. I drive through this neighborhood every day. I could buy 10 of these if I wanted to. She then pulled what she clearly thought was a power move. I'm calling my lawyer right now. This is discrimination, harassment, and probably illegal. She dialed a number on her phone and put it on speaker. The voice that answered was clearly just her teenage son. Tyler, tell these people I can afford a Ferrari. Tyler's response of, Mom, I'm in chemistry class. What are you talking about, didn't help her case. By now, we had attracted an audience. Several actual customers were watching the scene unfold, including James Morrison, a longtime client who owns 7 Ferraris and happened to be on the board of the Ferrari Club of America's Southwest region. He had his phone out and was recording everything, though Donna was too focused on her tantrum to notice. Fine, she declared, hanging up on poor Tyler. If you won't lease me a 6-month Ferrari, I demand to speak to the owner of this establishment immediately. I informed her that the owner was currently in Italy at the Ferrari factory. Then get him on the phone. I'll wait. She actually sat down in our customer lounge, helped herself to our complimentary espresso machine, and began making herself comfortable. What happened next was pure poetry. Robert emerged from his office with a printed copy of Ferrari's actual customer vetting process, which includes financial verification, previous exotic car ownership history, and agreements about not reselling the vehicle within the first year. He handed it to Donna with a smile. Here's the standard application, ma'am. Once you complete all 23 pages and provide the requested documentation, including tax returns from the last 3 years, proof of residence, and a letter from your insurance company confirming coverage availability, we can begin the approval process, which typically takes 2 to 3 weeks. Donna's face went through several shades of red that ironically matched the Ferrari she wanted. She stood up, crumpled the papers, and threw them at Robert. This is ridiculous. You're just making this up to avoid selling to me. I'm going to expose this whole scam on social media. She pulled out her phone again and started a Facebook Live video right there in our showroom. Everyone needs to see how Prestige Ferrari treats women. They're refusing to lease me a car because of sexism. They're making up fake requirements. This is probably illegal. She had about 12 viewers, most of whom were commenting with laughing emojis. James Morrison chose this moment to speak up. Excuse me, ma'am, but I've purchased multiple Ferraris from this dealership. The requirements are very real and apply to everyone. I had to go through the same process for my first purchase, and I'm a man. Donna spun around to face him. Of course, you're defending them. You're probably getting a kickback. This is a conspiracy. Security had been watching the situation develop, and our head of security, Marcus, finally stepped in. Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the premises. You're disturbing other customers and have damaged property. He gestured to the stack of crumpled papers on the floor and the coffee stain on our leather sofa where she'd spilled some of her macchiato. Damaged property? I haven't damaged anything. You're all just trying to cover up your discriminatory practices. She grabbed a Ferrari-branded brochure from the display stand and waved it in the air. I'm taking this as evidence for my lawsuit. She then marched toward the exit, but not before stopping at the Portofino she'd originally contaminated and taking a selfie with it. I'll be posting reviews on every site that exists. Yelp, Google, the Better Business Bureau. You'll be sorry you treated Donna Fitzgerald this way. As she reached the door, she turned for one final declaration. I don't need your overpriced cars anyway. I'll just go to the Lamborghini dealership down the street. They appreciate successful businesswomen there. The automatic doors closed behind her with a soft whoosh, and we all watched as she stomped to her Toyota Highlander, got in, and attempted to peel out of the parking lot. The worn tires and struggling engine produced more of a sad wheeze than a dramatic exit. About 30 minutes later, I received a call from my friend at the Lamborghini dealership. Hey, Jake, did you just have a woman named Donna come in demanding a 6-month lease? I confirmed, and he laughed. Yeah, she's here now. Threatening to sue us for requiring a credit check. Security is already escorting her out. But the story doesn't end there. James Morrison's video of Donna's tantrum went viral within hours. He posted it to the Ferrari Club's private Facebook group with a caption. Lady demands 6-month Ferrari lease, claims discrimination when told no. Within a day, it had been shared thousands of times and picked up by car enthusiast blogs. The memes were brutal but hilarious. Someone photoshopped her face onto a Hot Wheels car with a caption, "When you think Ferrari financing works like Rent-A-Center." The real consequences came 3 days later. Apparently, Donna's position as HOA president was volunteer-based, but she had been using it to intimidate local businesses into giving her discounts and special treatment. When the video went viral, several business owners in Pine Ridge Estates recognized her and started sharing their own stories. The owner of a local spa revealed that Donna had demanded free services because she brought them exposure. A restaurant manager shared security footage of her trying to get a free meal by claiming she was a social media influencer with her 800 Facebook friends. The Pine Ridge Estates HOA board called an emergency meeting. 17 residents showed up with printed screenshots from the viral video and complaints about her behavior. The vote to remove her from the position was unanimous, 15-0, with 2 abstentions. She was formally removed from her position as HOA president and banned from holding any board position for 5 years. Additionally, she was sent a cease and desist letter from Ferrari North America's legal department for defamation after she posted 12 one-star reviews on various platforms claiming discrimination. The letter informed her that if she didn't remove the false reviews within 72 hours, they would pursue legal action for damages. She removed them in less than 24 hours.